everything's good so far with it. So it's still got the break-in oil in it, so we want to drain that oil out and then just go over to our normal HBL 2050 oil, so that we would normally run in here. And then gear vendor wasn't engaging. I mean, it wasn't any big deal, but we know the solenoid's popping, so we know that stuff's going. So, but yeah, so we just switched to the, like I said, the HBL 2050, and then the gear vendor, seeing if it has fluid in it, if it's full, because if that's the reason it's not engaging, I mean, it really wasn't a concern. I mean, basically 3,000 RPM, it does 80 miles an hour. So, I mean, that part's all good, engine's all happy, everything's happy. So, but same thing is after taking it out and driving it, we need to go over everything and see, just do a tighten up. So, because I mean, basically had a 340 mile shakedown run, so make sure everything's tight and right before we head to the track today. And Greg here happened to have a hoist available for us, so makes it real easy. We'll put all the belly pans back on it. I think we're about a mile or so from the track, and then we'll just cruise over to the track when it opens and get ready to run.
Yeah, because last time we had it on a hoist yesterday, there's a lot of loose nuts and bolts, so looking for stuff. I remember we said we had to tighten, but I didn't remember tightening it. But seems like everything's pretty tight, so should be good. Okay. Just put some ED5 in it to try and go fast. Get a little bit better fuel in there, make it run a little bit better and a little bit faster, hopefully, and see how it goes. You're at the racetrack in Pueblo, or however you say it, but it's like 100 out today at the racetrack. Just, aired down the tires, unloaded all the stuff out of the car, and ready to go make a hit when our class gets hauled. Trying to get my license, so made 2 partial passes Saturday at the track, and gonna make another partial pass today, and just working on getting my 850 license and go from there. Did 660 at the track the other day, so hoping to get a little bit lower 6s in the 8th mile for today, and should be good.
Track looks pretty good. Went up there and looked at it. We got here tad late, so they actually called the Unlimited a minute ago. Aydan said, I guess when I was up the starting line, they must have called him, but he's still airing down the tires. He emptied the car out. We'll go up there and see what happens. So should be good. I mean, you still got to do a moderate pass, so basically 8th mile, and then just lower the throttle position out the back and get a nice moderate pass in. I mean, we'll leave the launch there. I mean, that's the biggest part to work on. I mean, driving the back half of the track is pretty easy. That's really just speed, and front half of the track. I mean, that's obviously where all the decisions are made, and if something's going to happen, it's usually going to happen up there, not very often at the top end. So that's the plan. We'll get up there and go after it.
Attention in the pits.
stage fright getting up there. He did a good job when another car ended up beside him, which shouldn't have happened, but he did a good job, like just lighting the first bulb. The other guy came in. I just don't know if he was all the way up on the chip. I don't know. He might not have been able to hear himself over the other car there. So, don't know. I mean, it just seemed like it launched like a pooch. So, we'll look at it. He'll come back up again. But figure he made his first couple runs 2 days ago and then had a whole day for let the nerves all build up again. So, like his burnout, obviously, I mean, had to back him up and let him do it again. I don't know if he thought he did a burnout or he just gave up or I don't know what happened there, but so whatever. I'm gonna go look at that and talk it over and get him back up there and make another one. So curious his time slip, what he went to the 8th, see what that was, but I mean, it was definitely poochie. So we'll see.
I hit the brakes because I was like on the track because I was like, all confused, like there's another car, like I hit the brakes after I got out of it, but
yeah, that first time, I mean, did you realize you didn't even do a burnout?
yeah, I was pretty sure I did it, but I don't know.
You needed to just mash the gas pedal. I think you shifted to high gear too soon.
I did exactly what he told me to do, but it wasn't good enough.
In a nutshell, no, he did. Just with the altitude here, I mean, it's it left with 3 pounds of boost. If he's just he was on the chip for 2 seconds. He stays on the chip maybe to 4 seconds. Lets it build that boost up a little bit. I mean, he's only working with the spring, so it's 5 pounds. He left with 3. Shift point, I mean, he shifted it the 2 seconds, and then he shifted 2 more seconds later, which is what I told him to do. It's just with the air here, I mean, it's just not. I mean, he ended up shifting it 4,700 or 4,500 to the 2.3 or to the 1.2, and then he was about 4,800 2.5 seconds later for the 2.3 shift. So he just needs to drag that out, let the RPM build up a little bit. I mean, he let off right at the 8th. I mean, his time slip 7:30. He goes from 100% throttle to chopping the throttle at 7.3. So that's fine, except I didn't tell you to go to 0 throttle. So see, there you go. You said that you did everything how I said. I said go 50% throttle, 70%. So, but all in all good. I mean, it's exactly went straight down. I mean, he struggled a little bit with the burnout. He's got to get his foot into it a little more on the burnout. But whatever. I mean, it's perfect. So should be all good. We'll go up there and do it again and see how that works. Just extend those things and see what it does. I mean, maybe he can get down in the, what was that pass?
7:30.
1240? Well, 7:30 to the 7:30 to the 8th. I mean, you really want to get him down in the 6s and the 8th, and then and whatever. I mean, he should, if he stays 70% throttle or something. I mean, he'll easily go out as an 11. I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe a 10. We'll see. But first time down this track, so that's always just the learning thing. So. burnout was great, so did good with that. And then launch, I'm sure he did everything. I think we're just, that's the power it's got right now. Maybe we'll try and go one more time, and if we get a chance to, and I'll just let him run it out further, so, and just see how it does. So
better 690 in the 8th at 104, so lifted like slightly after the 8th, but spaced out my shifting and went a little faster, so maybe my dad knows something.
Oh, there you go. You were 696 to the 8th, 104. So
yeah, I didn't shift to 3rd until after the 8th, and so I stayed in for a second and then lifted. But cool. I lifted because it was kind of scary fast approaching the end, because I didn't want to make the second turn because that one sounds complicated.
Yeah, you still did 98 out the back. Looks good. Good burnout. About time. Like, see, it's not going to blow up. Did everything right. He raced up his shift where he did that. He did a great burnout with it. I think we're going to raise, because of the altitude, we'll raise the launch RPM up 500 if we get another chance to go today. And just see what it does. I mean, work on that front half of the track. I mean, that would have been, I mean, he went through it 11:11, like, and he was out of it at 8.2 seconds. So, I mean, let's say that was a 10:50 pass. I don't know if he stayed in it. So, looks pretty good. I mean, we got to get him, as we looked for the last 2 runs, he has to run 999 or better. So it kind of changed what we're doing now, because once he makes his full pass, they got to be faster than 999. So we get another pass today, hopefully, and we'll turn up launch RPM, we'll let her rip.
Up to the staging lanes one last time for tonight. Hope to make one more pass and see how it goes. Turn the launch RPM up, and should make it run a little better.
One more 8-mile stuff, we'll see. We changed up the launch RPM, brought it up to 4,000 from 3,500 just with this altitude. See if that'll help get off the line with it. See what happens with it. Should be good for tomorrow. Plan on tomorrow that all goes well, we make it there and all that good jazz. Then hopefully he'll be able to do his quarter-mile passes tomorrow. So technically this could be a quarter-mile, but let's shut down everything. Let's run the 8th. Just make sure we're comfortable. See if this launch RPM helps. So that's the plan.
think that's a ticket. Curious to see what that is. And obviously, you got timid down there at the end because he was tapping the brakes before he ever went through. So, it's 11:27. It probably would have been a 10:90 something maybe. But either way, it was an 8-mile pass. That's what we're going after. So, we'll see what he's got. So what'd they say?
They said it didn't print.
So what's that mean?
That it didn't print. I don't know. They gave me like a 7-second in the quarter mile. And they're like, does this look like you? And I'm like, no. And they're like, okay, yours didn't print. I'm like, okay. So I guess we're keeping my last pass and turning that one in and taking a picture of it.
But I want to know the numbers. That's what I want to know because that launched really good. So
I think I shifted to 1-2. I shifted pretty early.
They might have it. They might have it up in the tower.
Felt fine. I think I shifted the 1-2 a little early. I don't even know where the 8th mile was. I think I shut down after. I got out of it after, but I didn't see passing it, so I'm sure I shut off after. But time slip didn't print, so I don't even know what I ran. But I need to flip it down, trying to remember it. But I mean, first time ever racing, everything. There's a lot going through my head, and that's obviously pretty important. But it's a little bit more down on my list. That by the end of the week, I'll try. Hopefully, I'll start remembering. But I put it down like once, but keep leaving it up.
All right, let's wrap up here at Pueblo. So finished. You got 3 runs in today. First run?
Yeah, 3 runs.
3 runs.
3 runs. First run was.
You did everything right?
Yeah, I did everything right, but I shifted at 2 seconds and it wasn't high enough.
Oh yeah, just based on the altitude or whatever. So it was ended up that he was on the brake. It only had like 2.5 pounds of boost. Then he took it out. He shifted after 2 seconds, which whatever. Actually, we already covered that stuff with you after the run. So let's just go to the fact that like we had good 8th mile runs today, especially the last one. There wasn't a time slip. It didn't print, but we raised the launch RPM up. That definitely seemed to work. I think that's going to be good for Denver tomorrow. Based on the altitude, us no boost, 5 pounds. So he did good on all that. With the shifts, we didn't actually download the data yet, but you said you saw in one of the videos 6,400. So
yeah, somewhere around there.
So perfect shift. His burnouts are awesome, so everything's progressing awesome. So like, couldn't be in a better position right now. We got a long drive tomorrow. Well, not a long drive, but we got the mountain drive tomorrow. So 180 miles through the mountain. We're going to be up and gone early, 5 a.m. to get on the road, get up there. We actually race tomorrow night. So that's where we're at. Like, what do you think about things? Like, how are you feeling comfortable-wise?
It's going good. I mean, at the 8th mile, it seems fine. This track, like a little bit shorter shutdown area, and it seemed a little sketchy, but definitely plenty of time that to run a quarter mile pass, like definitely have plenty of time to
Well, you
stop.
said, though, that, like, on the one, like you said, whatever, it started to wobble a little bit.
Yeah, all of
there.
them wobbled a little bit, but nothing like, I didn't have to steer out of it or anything, just tire.
That's a big tire deal, though. They always like move around a little bit. So that's where we're at. He did awesome. He's come along great. So slow progresses, and he's actually able to make full quarter mile passes now because he's got enough of the 8th mile passes or moderate passes under his belt. So as long as everything goes well, we'll see his first quarter mile pass tomorrow. So thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe, comment, let us know what you think and what you want to see, what you want to know more of. So we're out.